hair voices.
This is Micah.
Micah's like the jokester of the family.
This is a potato.
He really sunk into a deep depression in high school. He knew that he was gay, and he said, every relationship feels fake. I need to know that they know this about me and they still like me. And so like watching this child who's very funny and witty, that academics come so easy for him. Just seeing him all of a sudden not want to go to school anymore. So there were some really dark times. Like I remember one Sunday, we didn't know where Micah was, and we thought maybe he had already left for church.
And we finally went upstairs
And I opened up his closet. And it's not lost on me that many parents open up their closet and don't find what we found, which was a child that was alive. But he was rolled up in a ball, and he's like, I can't do it anymore.
This year in America, nearly half of all LGBTQ youth will consider suicide, and one LGBTQ youth will attempt suicide every 45 seconds. These kids grow up feeling shame. Their lives are politicized, and they are left believing that their community, family, and their God see them as wrong. At Encircle, our mission is to bring the family and community together to enable LGBTQ youth to thrive. Micah was one of the first youth to ever come to Encircle.
Encircle helped save Micah's life, really. I know that sounds cliche and grandiose, but it's really true.
It's been the best.
Yeah.
This has been the best thing for him.
How many lives do we have to lose until it's a crisis? Give me a number, honestly. When we lose one of these youth, we don't just lose them.
Family, friends, an entire universe is lost. This cannot continue to happen. But this is not just about suicide prevention. The youth need to thrive. They need good mental health, family, and community support.
Our vision is that these youth will grow up in homes and communities where they're not afraid to come out, where they are celebrated for who they are.
In Utah, I feel like one of the biggest things of being a queer youth is this push and pull between your queer identity and the church. And I feel like Encircle kind of alleviates the pressure to do anything or to take any side.
Encircle was a community for Micah, because when he came out, he didn't really know how his friends were going to perceive him. It's given us the confidence to be proud of our family and to share family story, because we see other families doing the same thing.
We could tell from pretty young age that Nicole was struggling. It was a challenge for us as parents because we didn't know why. You know, what's wrong? Smile. Like, you know, this is a good life and everything's good. And looking back, I realized, yeah, of course she wasn't happy. Who can be happy when they're keeping a big, giant secret from everybody that they love?
On average, youth know they are lesbian, gay, or bisexual at around age 12, but they don't come out until they are about 22 years old. For transgender youth, this happens much earlier. For a decade, these kids have a secret about themselves that no one else knows. And during this time, what's happening? What are these kids hearing about people like themselves in communities like mine? From their moms, uncles, teachers. It's generally not positive. We must do better. And by the time these kids do come out, sometimes so much damage has been done that it takes years for them to recover. When Encircle opened, the intent was to keep these kids alive. But once the home filled with these incredible youth, their mere survival was not enough. We needed to provide them with world-class mental health services so that they can be their best selves. Within 5 years, we have served over 100,000 individuals.
My mom was like, I heard about Encircle and I think you should go. I kind of rolled my eyes because my mom always said stuff like that. So she did just force me to go, and I went, and the first thing I went to was a friendship circle. I was like, wow, like I had so much fun, and I loved all the kids I met. I loved all the friends I made.
We started Encircle to provide a safe gathering space for LGBTQ youth, young adults, and their families. We want these youth to know that they have the power to create a beautiful future and that they are perfect just as they are.
Nicole and I were driving home from a soccer practice. She confided in me that she thought she was gay. And I remember when she said it, I kind of felt the breath go out of me, and my immediate reaction was, okay, I'm about to have what's probably the single most important conversation of my life. I cannot get this wrong. I just said, Nicole, thank you. Thank you for confiding in me. It occurs to me that that was really hard for you to say, and would you mind just giving me a little bit of time? And one of the things that I read over and over and over again is when your child comes out to you for the first time, you express love, but really the most important thing is just save their lives. Focus on saving their lives above anything else. So a couple of days went by and we sat down and we had a great conversation. At the end of that conversation, I said, oh, by the way, you've never really considered hurting yourself or considered killing yourself over this, have you? And she looked at me and she said, Daddy, she said, I thought about killing myself every single day.
Currently, youth walk in the door feeling shame for who they are because they have grown up hearing in their homes, churches, schools, and in the media that they're flawed. They hear their worth debated.
We want them to come to Encircle and realize they are beautiful just as they are, that they are part of a beautiful community of people, that they have a bright future, that they can be anyone they want in this world.
We want these kids to know that they matter, they're worth it, and we love them. Encircle feels like home and looks like home. It provides a place for youth who may not feel at home anywhere else in their community, even in their own homes. Encircle homes are beautiful, with attention to every detail. They're filled with well-designed furniture, original art, grand pianos, art rooms, gorgeous kitchens. The homes reflect the value of the youth. We want the youth to be part of something that they feel proud of. We want the community and the parents to know that these youth are worth investing in. They're beautiful, kind, artistic, wise, forgiving. We want parents to walk through the door and maybe think, wow, this is different than I thought it would be. I wish my home looked like this. I wish my home felt like this. And eventually, I wish in my home we loved like this. The youth we meet at Encircle are kind, loving, courageous, artistic, brilliant, and sadly at risk. If we will love and support them in their homes and communities, they will grow up to be leaders, and we will all be the better for it.
It makes sense that when a youth feels shame for who they are, one of the easiest things that they do is to turn to alcohol, drugs, and other self-harming behaviors. Encircle is here to ensure that a child never gets to that point. There are other options. We know that when youth have one accepting adult in their life, they are 8 times less likely to attempt suicide.
Encircle is about empowering LGBTQ youth to have great mental health. Everything we do at Encircle is ensuring that these kids grow up healthy and are able to become happy and engaged people.
Today, it's hard to believe that Stephanie, our CEO and founder, grew up believing that being LGBTQ+ was a sin. Her story is amazing and is indicative of what we can all do: change. After graduating law school, she went to work in Washington, D.C. to protect the traditional family. She firmly believed that gay marriage was a threat to our country. But then she met a beautiful person named John Williams. John also happened to be gay, and he was the best person she had ever known.
And that's when she realized everything she had ever believed about this was wrong. Our culture was doing things that actively hurt the LGBTQ+ community. These kids in her home state were more at risk for suicide than across the entire nation. Something was wrong. So she turned to John, and together they started a home. They thought it might just be a place where kids could come after school and do homework and enjoy cookies.
On Valentine's Day of 2017, we opened the first Encircle home in downtown Provo, Utah. We were worried people might be angry and protest the opening. Instead, the community showed up in support. Immediately, this home was full of bright and beautiful LGBTQ+ youth. Each of these homes now serves 10,000 people per year. And within 5 years, we served over 100,000 LGBTQ+ youth and their families.
Often, these kids feel like if they were to come out, they would not be accepted by the community that they love. Every day, volunteers, businesses, and organizations show up at Encircle to support our life-saving programs. Just them being here tells these kids that they are loved by their community and that people are cheering for their success.
Wait, that's fine.
We have 4 kids, Christian, transgender, my kid's gay, Gabe straight, and Kaino is our 6-year-old who seems to rule the family. So it's a fun family.
So I am transgender. I was born male, and I was often ridiculed by my peers, whether it was kids at school, people at church, and by people I mean like the kids and the parents. Stepping into the world as yourself, I was scared too, but because I already had Encircle with my family, it was a little easier.
It's just lovely to see her come into her own. Like now she's just who she's always been, and she makes so much more sense now because growing up she was always just trying to find her place.
I'll be honest, I was very in denial. But then after, you fast forward now, it's she showed me a lot of courage.
When we started Encircle, we wanted to give leadership opportunities to young LGBTQ people because they're the ones who best understand the needs of the LGBTQ community.
Well, I'm a student at the U studying psychology. I really want to go into clinical therapy. But I also work at Encircle, which is an absolute pleasure. And I feel like I have very much finally found my place in the world. Encircle has helped me so much, trying to balance my family's faith and religion with what I was going through, and I think it really helped us just come together as a family.
We started with a small house in Provo, Utah. 2 years later, we opened in Salt Lake City, and a year after that, in St. George.
And now Encircle is expanding.
And in 5 years, it is likely we will serve nearly 1 million people.
It's clear that the problems our LGBTQ+ community face are global. Encircle is needed across the country. So, how are we sustaining all of these homes that we are opening nationwide? Truthfully, we need your support. It will take thousands of people like you coming together to give a little each month to ensure that these youth have the love and support that they need.
We've created a monthly giving program that we would love for you to be a part of. It's called the Community Circle. Our model is this: generous donors provide the homes and rooms where this life-saving work takes place, but Community Circle members like you fund the programs and mental health services that happen in each of these homes. 100% of your monthly donations go directly to the Encircle home of your choice. Your donation makes a lasting impact that really supports LGBTQ+ youth and their families.
I would just say that your money will be going to a very vulnerable population
There you go.
that needs love, that needs support.
It's literally a life-saving thing. And when I think about that, I think about these kids that are out there. Too many of them are literally dying. They're dying.
The world desperately needs our LGBTQ young people to survive. But not only survive, we need them to thrive. And your support is what will make that possible.
Become a part of the Encircle family today by joining the Community Circle. Donating monthly to a home in your community will ensure that LGBTQ+ youth and their families have the life-saving resources and the support that they need.
Encircle taught me that one person can change someone's life. One person can keep another person alive just by loving them, connecting with them. Be that one person today.